Hey guys, the sun is setting, so that's why the lighting is so weird, but welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be swapping books with my fantasy-loving friend. This is my friend Landon. Landon loves fantasy. I do not. I like literary fiction, romance, so this challenge should be very interesting. So happy that you're here. Thank you for joining me for this journey, and enjoy the video. First ever book video on my channel. Woo! If you don't know, this is Landon, my friend.
I think we should all know who I am by now.
Well, somebody's attitudious.
Attitudious? Is that even a word?
I don't know, look it up.
Oh my gosh, it's actually a word.
Anyway,
Yeah?
welcome to the book video. Today,
The book video.
the book video. I don't really know what I'm going to title this yet. I was thinking like swapping books with my fantasy loving friend.
That's too long.
Okay,
we'll figure it
so
out.
y'all are actually propped up on 7 books right now. There's
9.
9 books. 8 of them are mine, 1 of them are
Yeah.
hers. We're gonna swap books.
We're gonna swap books basically. What do you
I read fantasy, I read magical mysteries.
Yep.
I read
Mythical creature,
Yeah.
world building.
Yeah. Very opposite of what she reads.
I
Katie?
read Emily Henry, romance. I like fantasy, but I'm very particular about the fantasy that I like.
See, I read romance, but I read romantasy.
Yeah, romantasy. I'm not just like a romance addict, but I do like literary fiction. I would say literary fiction is probably my favorite genre. So we have our first books that we've picked out for each other. I've picked out the only book that I've ever annotated because I don't write in my books. By annotated, I mean like tabbed. I did this funny story by Emily Henry, and it is so good. If you mess up this book, I will hunt you down.
Do you see the condition of my books? Do you think I'd ever do that? I'm a book freak. Like, pan to my bookshelf
Landon's bookshelf.
and show them the stack they're on.
Yeah. So basically, this book is about a girl named Daphne, and she basically gets cheated on. And the girl that her husband, or her boyfriend, cheated on her with is the ex-girlfriend of the guy that she ends up moving in with.
Go over all of that again.
So the girl that her ex-boyfriend cheated on her with
Okay.
is the ex-girlfriend of the guy who she moves in with, who she ends up moving in with.
Oh, okay, so full circle.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
She meets this guy, they immediately hit it off. She's like, I need a place to live. Can I live here?
That's it?
Yeah.
That's what it is?
I love the way that Emily Henry writes.
all she highlighted in here.
I did. I never write in my books. Oh, listen to this. If a person lets you down, it's time to reconsider what you're asking of them. Excited for you to read it because I know that you would never pick up this book.
Yeah.
I think that's the point of this challenge, is picking
Yeah.
books for each other that we know that the other one is never going to pick up.
And this one, she definitely would never pick
Yeah,
up.
go ahead and introduce your book.
Okay. My book is called If We Were Villains. You may or may not have heard about it if you're a book person on TikTok. It's really psychologically... Ooh. It's like a psychological thriller. I'm just gonna read y'all the back because I haven't read this book in like a year and a half, 2 years. Oliver Marks has just served 10 years for a murder he may or may not have committed. On the day of his release, he is greeted by the detective who put him in prison. Detective Colborn is retiring, and he wants to know what really happened a decade before. As a young actor at an elite conservatory, Oliver noticed that his talented classmates seemed to play the same characters on stage and off, villain, hero, and temptress. Though he was always a supporting role, when the teachers changed the casting, a good-natured rivalry turns ugly.
Rivalry?
Shut up! Rivalry turns ugly, and the plays spill dangerously over into real life. When tragedy strikes, one of the 7 friends is found dead, convincing the police and themselves they're blameless. See, this is one of the books that I picked up and I didn't think I was gonna like that much because there's no magic. It's very mystery centered, but it keeps you guessing the entire time.
I would say we're probably going to give each other 2 or 3 books.
Probably
swap
by
2
the
or
end
3
of this,
books.
probably.
Yeah, and then we will give y'all updates on how we're liking the other genre. But I'm very excited for you to read Emily Henry. Emily Henry for me was like a canon event.
Is she similar to Allie Hazelwood?
I've never read Allie Hazelwood.
You've never read Allie Hazelwood?
No.
I really feel like you would like those books. It's like that. This genre is like that. Those are like the only books that I own that are like this.
I guess it couldn't. Goodness. Can you crunch any more water bottles?
Yeah, I can actually.
Okay, well, we're gonna read before we go to sleep. It's a school night. I honestly don't even know why I'm here.
Because I asked you to be?
Yeah, Landon begged me.
I did not.
Yes, she did.
No, I didn't.
She said, Katie, please come over. I don't want to be alone. Don't even act like you didn't say that. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. And you quit with the water. Bye, guys. We shall update you.
Goodbye.
When it is time. Hello everyone, yes, it is I, Katie Sue, and I'm back with a book update. I'm currently on page 71, and this book has like 300 something pages, I think. I don't really know. Actually, let's put it into my Goodreads. I'm gonna find a way to stand this up so that y'all aren't like shaking. It's a tad bit crooked, but oh well. If We Were Villains has a 4.12 star rating and 360,000 ratings. That's pretty darn good. I'm gonna try not to read the ratings because I don't want them to alter my rating or the way that I think about it. So I'm just gonna add it to my reading and then I will put what page number I'm on. What did I say I was on? 76? I'm on page 70. Okay, I'm 19% through the book. But I'm also reading 2 books right now, y'all. I'm reading this for this like challenge thing. And then I was reading The Wedding People before this challenge even was born into my YouTube vein of existence. I'll have to do another video catching all up on this book because I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Oh, so my thoughts about this book so far. I would like to make this as spoil-free as I can. There's these 7 kids and they go to this place called Della something, I don't know. I don't really know how to pronounce it. They go there to be in theater and take theater classes from the best in the country or the state or the world. I don't really know. It's this really competitive theater group and it's like a 4-year theater college, and each year they kick people out and they are 4th years, so this is their last year at the theater school. There's only 7 because everybody else has been kicked out of the program. It's very competitive. It's very high stakes. They just auditioned for this play and they all got casted the different roles and they're all like getting a little bit snippy with each other because some of them didn't get the roles that they wanted. I will say that the reason that I'm not a big fantasy reader, and this isn't really fantasy, this is like psychological thriller, but the reason that I'm not into books like this is because I feel like in books like this, you're just kind of thrown in and there's no like backstory or foundation of the characters. Like I have no emotional connection to any of these characters yet, and I'm on page 70 and there's 7 of them. And I feel like I have, like even the main character, I feel like he is narrating other people more than he's actually telling me about himself. So that's kind of frustrating, I will say, but that's just me. That's just how I work. I'm a very big literary fiction person, which is why I read books like Emily Henry and The Wedding People. Like I'm not just about romance. I love literary fiction, things that can actually happen in real life. But Landon says that there are a lot of plot twists in here, and I do love horror movies, so I'm trying to venture out of my comfort zone a little bit, and I'm excited to read this. I really do like the way that she writes. It took me a little bit to like catch on to it and be able to read it a little bit faster, but I feel like I'm finally like catching on. I don't like the font. And I know that's like really specific and random and weird, but I do not like this font. It is way too tiny. It's like an old Roman font and it's very hard for me to read. It's also like, this is really cool and unique. It's written like a play. Right here it says scene 1 and then it's like split up into acts. So instead of having chapters, there's like different acts. There's different scenes in each act. I will say that's pretty unique and different and I'm really enjoying that, but I trust Landon. I'm hoping that she's enjoying her book. Emily Henry is thebomb.com. So I will be spending the rest of my evening reading this and not touching the wedding people because that is not what I need to be reading right now. Even though I really want to, but I'm hoping that this will pick up a little bit. Right now it's still a little bit of like character bonding and just me like figuring out the world and the story. I'm gonna keep giving it a chance and like try to find that emotional connection to these characters, but this book may not be about that emotional connection, and that's okay. And that's just something that I might have to be okay with. I'm gonna keep reading and I will update y'all later.
Okay guys, so I'm not very far, but let me tell you, nothing's actually happened yet. I'm 91 pages in. Nothing's really happened yet, but the main male lead, let me see, what's his name again? It starts with an M. Katie would be able to tell you. I can't tell you yet. He's so swoon-worthy. He is so swoon-worthy. Like, he's so cutie. And I'm like so excited to read the rest of the book and like find out how their relationship like unfolds. Ooh, I can tell it's gonna be good. He works in a winery. That is so like cute boy vibes. Thank you, Katie Sue, for telling me to read this book. Truly, I love you. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have this. I'm gonna keep reading and I'll update y'all when I have more thoughts. They kissed! They kissed! And it was so... Yep, I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Yes! Oh. Hello. Couple of days. It's been a day. I finished the book yesterday. It's called Funny Story by Emily Henry. I read it in 2 days. It was that good. It's that good. Katie wants me to rate it out of 5 stars, and I think I'm going to put it at a 4. I say this because it was so sweet the entire time. There wasn't hardly any angst, and I kind of like need that to survive. There was a bit, just a tiny bit, but it was like a chapter's worth, and I need a little bit more than that. It felt very flat, but it was still a really good book. It was a nice little romance, a nice palate cleanser. That's what we'll call it. We'll call it a palate cleanser. That's what it was. It was still good, but it's not getting a 5 star. And Katie is refusing to read a hardcore fantasy, and she needs to, because have you really lived if you've not read a hardcore fantasy? That is going to be one of her next reads, because I'm not going to let her not do that. Who would I be? What kind of friend would I be? Anyway, ignore how chopped and disgusting I look. It is midnight as I'm filming this. I just got off a double 11-hour shift. Anyway, hope y'all enjoy my book review. This is probably going to pan to Katie. Hello, Katie. I will update y'all on the next book I read.
Hello, guys. It is Sunday evening, and the last time we spoke, it was Thursday evening. And I know you're thinking, Katie, what happened? Why didn't you update us? Well, I did, except my camera was in slow-mo every single time, and I was not about to go back and refilm all of that footage, so I will just give you my thoughts now. I did finish If We Were Villains today at my boyfriend's house, and I finished it on my Kindle. I didn't know it was on Kindle Unlimited, but it was, thankfully. And my boyfriend's mom has a walking pad, so I burned 300 calories and read the rest of my book on my Kindle. It was a surreal experience. I will definitely need to invest in one of those because I fell in love with it. On to my thoughts on this book. Okay, don't be mad, but I'm gonna have to give it, I'm in between a 2.5 and a 3. I feel like a 3 would be generous, so I think I'm gonna go with 2.5. No, 2.75. Okay, I'm gonna give this 2.75 stars. It's not that I hated it. It's not that I hated the book. I didn't feel like I related to any part of the book. I did not relate to the characters because I did not know them. I did not relate to the story because I don't know Shakespeare. They would like randomly burst out in conversation talking in lines from Shakespeare and expect me to understand it. And I'm just like, if someone were to randomly, like I sing, right? So that's like me talking to someone in a regular conversation and then them just bursting out into song and singing some Katy Perry lyric because it relates to our conversation. Like that's just not how I roll. And if someone did quote Shakespeare to me in the middle of a conversation, I would probably be like, what are you saying right now? Like that just wasn't realistic to me. I didn't mind the genre. I thought I was gonna hate the genre. I didn't mind the genre. The genre was not what bothered me. What bothered me was the book itself. The ending did have a really good plot twist, and that's the only reason why I'm giving it the stars that I am giving it. But at the end of the day, it's just not something that I would recommend to someone else from my personal experience. Landon is a bit more into like, not theater, but just lyrical stuff like that. And I think that's why she enjoyed this a little bit more than I did. And she's also okay with not connecting to all of the characters. Like she's more interested in the plot, and I'm just like, I feel like the plot would have intrigued me more if I related to the characters. You know what I mean? Another thing was that it was very predictable in my opinion. Okay, one of the characters, it tells you this in the synopsis, so this is not a spoiler, but one of the characters dies and I predicted who it was that was gonna die. Like it was obvious who was gonna die. And then not the final plot twist, like not the one at the very, very, very end, but the one like right before the end, that was kind of predictable too. There were a couple like towards the end, but most of them were pretty predictable in my opinion. So that was kind of disappointing too. And the whole time I felt like I was reading it, I was like waiting for something to happen. And it was just kind of like I was reading it to get to that point. You know what I mean? And it wasn't really intriguing me in the moment, but I'm glad that I read it. It's another book that I can say that I've read, and I'm really disappointed that I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. Even though it's not something that I would pick up like at Barnes & Noble and buy for myself, I'm happy that Landon picked this out for me, and I'm excited to see the next thing that she picks out for me. I know it's gonna be hardcore fantasy, but for round 2, we're gonna pick out 3 books. And the other person is going to pick out of the 3 books what book they want to read. So I'm going to tell you all the 3 books that Landon is going to pick from. So first we have Mary Jane. I read this last summer, I think, and I gave this book 5 stars. It is a literary fiction. There's basically no romance whatsoever, like with our main character. I love the way that Jessica Anya Blau writes. It is so interesting to read, and I love the way she tells the story. Like this story doesn't necessarily have one giant mystery or one giant romance that you're rooting for, but you're rooting for the character. So it's a coming of age story about a 14-year-old girl who basically goes and nannies for this household. And her mother is very pristine, and the house is always clean. They have a dinner schedule. Like everything is always neat and fine and dandy. And then she goes to this family's house across the street and nannies for them, and they are just a mess. Like they don't know what they're doing with their lives. And there's like all kinds of things going on in the house. And then a pop star and his wife move in, and it's just crazy. So this is an option. The next option is Jane and Dan at the End of the World. I'm pretty sure this is a new release. This book definitely got me out of a reading slump just because of how quick and easy it is to read. And that's part of the reason why I don't want Landon to pick this book, is because Funny Story was quick and easy to read, and that's why she got a little bit ahead of me in the reading game, because If We Were Villains was a little bit longer and harder to read than Funny Story. And I feel like she's gonna give me this giant hardcore fantasy, and I'm gonna give her, oh, this little easy to read thing, and she's just gonna fly through it. And then I'm just gonna be sitting over here with this massive 600-page fantasy. But I'm still gonna give this to her as an option. This book is about a couple, and they're going through a middle-aged marriage crisis, and then they go and they eat at this really expensive restaurant. The girl wrote a book and she lives the experience that she wrote about in her book in real life. So it's a book about a book lover. I love that. I love the characters. I didn't necessarily personally connect to them, but I loved their story and I was rooting for them. So yeah, this is an option. And then lastly, we have my favorite book of all time. This book is, oh my gosh, this book is phenomenal. Blue Sisters by Coco Mellar. This book is, I can't even put it into words. When I read this book, I was devastated for like a month after I read this book. Like, I could not pick up another book because of how sad I was after reading this book. It's basically about 4 sisters and you follow each of them in their own view. It's each of their stories being narrated to you. She writes in a way, like the way that she describes things are just so panoramic, if that makes sense. You feel like you are living this life with each of these sisters. And a lot of times with multiple perspective books, I'm sad when one perspective is over because I just want to go back to their perspective. But I loved each and every one of these sisters. They are phenomenal. I connected with every single one of them. And there's only 3, but one of them passed away, and you learn how she passed away, and you learn all about these sisters' problems and dilemmas and how they try to solve them and how they work together and how they connect and how they're there for each other and how they're not there for each other, and it's just a big sob mess story. So I really hope she picks this one. If she doesn't pick this one, this is going to be the 3rd book that I give her. Yeah, that's basically my update, and I will update y'all on what book I pick from her 3 and what book she picks from my 3. Bye guys!
We're back. This time, I'm telling y'all Katie's new options. There's 3. This is the lineup. We've got 6 of Crows, Children of Blood and Bone, and The Last Night at the Telegraph Club. We'll start with the last one I just listed. This one is one of my all-time favorite books. It made me sob uncontrollably. It is based in the 1950s San Francisco, to be exact, during like the Red Scare and like all of that jazz. It focuses on a first-generation Chinese American girl, and she is struggling with her sexuality. She meets this girl in her class. Her name is Kath. Our main character's name is Lily. They meet and they start getting really close. They develop romantic feelings for each other. They get torn apart. Oh, this is what makes me sob uncontrollably, because they get torn apart, but then later in their adulthood they meet back together, and it's so heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking but so happy at the same time. Like, if you're one of those people who love angst, this book is pure angst. Alright, Katie's 2nd book, The Children of Blood and Bone. This one is very much fantasy, like hardcore fantasy. It's a really good book though. The 2nd one isn't as good. I never actually finished the 2nd book because I just couldn't get through it. But the 2nd book isn't that great. 1st book though, devoured the 1st book. Didn't think I was really gonna like this, but I really loved it. It's about a girl who lives in this monarchy, and they all used to have magic. Like, there used to be orders, and like her mom was a reaper. And then the current monarch had all, like, made magic disappear. And then all of the people who used to have magic were slowly being killed off. By the end of the book, she gets her magic, and she's a reaper. So she's got, like, crazy power. She pairs up with a princess, and they're, like, fighting through this, like, crazy curse that was put on the kingdom. Very angsty, very edge of your seat, very good, highly recommend Children of Blood and Bone. Okay, last but not least, 6 of Crows. This book killed me. I reread this book a lot. When I'm just in a book slump, first one I reach for. It's so entertaining. In case you didn't know what this book is, it's a giant heist of 6 teenagers who are like in the slums, and they are so set on like pulling off the biggest heist that Ketterdam has ever seen. But at what cost? There is a 2nd book. It's part of the Grishaverse series, so it's this book and then Crooked Kingdom. That's this duology. And then it, like, kind of flows into the rest of the Grishaverse. It's mentioned in other books. So all of the Shadow and Bone books and all of the King of Scars books. Like, that's all the Grishaverse. It is so good. Like, I really thought about getting No Mourners, No Funerals tattooed on my body. Might still. Who knows? But, like, it just has such good, like, character development and angst. Y'all know how I feel about angst. Just, like, the plot is so chef's kiss. I think Katie is gonna pick this one just because, like, this, I think, will sound the most interesting to her. I think it's gonna be this one. I really hope it's this one. If not, I might be a little bit upset. That's all the books. These are her options. We'll update y'all later.
Hey guys, I'm back. Y'all saw Landon's options that she gave me to pick from for our second round. And drum roll please, I chose Six of Crows. And let me tell you, are you listening? Are you listening to me when I say this? I am in love with this book. Like, I don't know what else I'm supposed to do with my time. Like, I will skip school. I will not eat. I will not use the bathroom until this book is finished. I will sacrifice my sleep until this book is finished, okay? I started this yesterday. And do you know what page I'm on? 186. Hello? And I'm a slow reader, y'all. Okay, that's an exaggeration. I'm not a slow reader, but I am a slower reader than some. I'm a mid-reader. Also, ignore this giant pimple that just popped up on my face. I tried a new cleanser, and I think my face is either trying to get used to it, or it's just not gonna work. I may just switch back to my old one because me and SkinCeuticals are like this. That's my girl right there. I tried La Roche-Posay, but I just don't know. It's what Landon uses, and Landon has like perfect, flawless skin. I might give it a chance. I might switch back, but okay. Anyway, back to the book. I'm gonna give you all a little update on my thoughts. There's this guy named Kaz. Kaz, I picture him as like this big, tall, broad, handsome, dark-haired man, okay? He is a thief with a gift for unlikely escapes. That's how the book describes him on the back. And Kaz gets offered this giant proposition to go on this heist, this basically impossible heist, him and whoever else he chooses to take, for a lot of money. Like, a lot. So he chooses 5 other people to go with him on this heist to try to complete it and get paid. And there's also a bunch of like people being held hostage, and everybody owes everybody something in this world. You don't get anything for free. The map in this fantasy book is huge. There's 2. And although I haven't read fantasy, I know that this book has a big map. I'm enjoying it a lot. I don't even know, who is this by? Leigh Bardugo. And apparently it's a trilogy. So depending on how this one ends, I might be buying the entire set. But I'm flying through this book, y'all. What makes it even greater is that it's on Kindle Unlimited. You wanna know what I did tonight? I went to voice lessons, I came home, and then my mom just bought this giant swing, and I call it the Katie swing. I have claimed it. It is mine. It is so comfortable. It is the perfect swing to read in. It's sitting outside on my back porch. I took my Kindle out there, I opened this bad boy up, and I sat out there for like 2 hours and just read on my Kindle while the sun was setting, and it was literally the most peaceful thing I have done in so long. I just needed that. Like, I needed to sit down and just read the book and not go from class to class to class to class to class, read the book like I do in school, because we're not doing anything right now. It's the end of the year. So I'm basically just reading in class, but I'm having to like close my book in between class periods and then go to the next class and then sit down, get settled again. And my classes are loud too, so I always put in my headphones and play like jazz music on YouTube, but yeah, I really enjoyed sitting down and really like getting into the book, completely into the book. I love the way this author writes. She has a way of making sure that you're never bored. Like, even if there's not always a plot twist happening, you are never bored in this book. There's always something happening, always. And it doesn't even have to be action-packed. Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm so excited. This is like the first fantasy book. Okay, that's a lie, actually. I do love the Atlas 6. Oh, there's a bug. I do love the Atlas Six. That is the only other fantasy book that I've ever read that I genuinely like. I read ACOTAR, but I got super bored. So I read like a lot of the second book actually. I was just so bored. I did not like it at all, so I quit. I'm not about to read a 700-page book that I just don't like. That's not happening. Maybe I'll read it again one day. Today is just not that day. I'm going to sit here and turn off my light and read. I've been in a very big Kindle mood, so I think I'm gonna whip out. I need to give my Kindle a name. That way I can like say her name whenever I want to whip her out, like Kathy the Kindle. Well, I'm about to whip out Kathy, and Kathy and I are gonna spend the rest of the night together, so yay us. See what page I get to. Also, if anybody is wondering, this is the Paperwhite Kindle. I will link it in my storefront. Go follow my TikTok. It's katiesue.beauty. And I have a link tree, and I will link it in my link tree if you are curious or wondering. Also, my case is from Amazon too. If anybody's wondering that as well, I will link that too in my link tree. I am enjoying this book, and Kathy and I will be spending the rest of the night together. Good night, guys.
Hi, people. I'm using Katie's camera today. So I'm reading the book that Katie is making me read.
Oh, whatever.
The Blue Sisters book.
It's a phenomenal book.
No, it's not. Anyway, I'm really struggling to read it. I'm only halfway through.
Okay, I'm halfway through my book too, but my book's a lot longer than yours.
Yeah, I just didn't read it at all the last 2 days, but
Tell me
I'm
why.
making some progress.
Tell me why.
I'm making progress.
I go into English class yesterday, and every day in English class I check this girl's progress. Yesterday, she was on page 32. I walk into English class. Tell me why she's on page 32 today.
I was on page 33, thank you. But now I'm on page 148. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't do realistic fictions well. They're just not my cup of tea. I need what I gave her. I gave her Six of Crows. Quality. I gave her quality. She gave me dry KFC biscuits with no honey. No, that's Popeyes. She gave me dry Popeyes biscuits with no honey. I've been choking down the biscuits. I've been choking them down. There's parts that are good, there's parts that are bad. I really just feel like I'm reading a school assignment. That's just how I'm getting through this. One sister dies. The three other ones are addicts, confused lesbians, and confused heterosexuals. So they're all confused. They're all either current addicts or recovered addicts. They got some issues, very much real stuff, very depressing at some points.
Very sad.
As we know, I feed off of that. So,
That's why I gave you this book.
I'll get through it, but it's gonna take me some time. I hope to make some progress tonight, so we'll see. But that's my update. So,
Hey guys. Kindle has been my best friend throughout this book, and it's making me read the Six of Crows in a much shorter time span than I would if I did not have my Kindle. Look at her.
hello.
Oh. They are finally on the heist. I will say I thought that they would be already on the heist by page, 270 something.
Katie, no way you're trying to pull my comforter out of my bed again. Quit that.
I'm not trying, it just happens. One thing about me is that I'm a crazy sleeper. That's actually an understatement.
No. She is, like, she tries to box you in her sleep.
I kick Cameron off the bed multiple times while I sleep. But to be fair, he has like a twin XL bed.
And I have a full and you're taking up half of it right now. A little over half.
And I'm a tiny person too.
She's wearing my clothes, sleeping in my bed, taking up the entire bed. Let's look at it real quick. You see this? This is her leg. This is her leg. I'm in this itty bitty corner. Hello?
Okay, back to the book. I will say I thought that their heist would be like halfway over with by now. No. Tell me why the heist just started. Why did the heist just start? I'm on page like 270 something.
Because
Wait, don't tell me!
I can tell you something real depressing right now.
No! I knew you were gonna say that. You're a spoiler. I don't even want to talk to you about books anymore. I'm not gonna put this in there because Landon just spoiled half the book for me.
I only spoiled a tiny little part, and it's not even a secret.
Oh, it's a secret to me. I'm gonna
Canceled
stop
it,
recording so that future editing me will not hate current me. because I hate it when I edit and I have like a 20-minute long clip
Boo.
and half of it is just me sitting there like this.
Boo.
Or me talking to Landon about crap that doesn't even matter.
Conversations matter.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye.
Hello. I just finished the book. I've been crying for hours. This book has, I can't even describe it to you. It perfectly encompasses grief. Does that make sense? No words. I have no words. Reading it was like I was ripping my heart out, tearing it into little pieces, shoving it back in my chest and doing it all again. I rate it 4.5 stars because it was really slow in the beginning. All the good stuff happened at the end, but it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. Yeah, that's my review. I don't really have much else to say about this besides don't read it if you're severely depressed because you will not survive. Yeah.
Hey guys, so we're back in this weird lighting predicament. There's a mosquito. But I finished Six of Crows last night and I give it a 4.25 rating. I really enjoyed this book. Like, I was never bored. I connected to almost all the characters, not every single one of them. It was a great storyline, a great plot. I really did enjoy it. Hold on, I cannot deal with this lighting anymore. Hold on. Okay, that's a little bit better. Anyway, I genuinely did enjoy this book. It was a great book to read. I would recommend it to anybody looking for like fantasy or something like that to read. The only thing that I will say is that there was a little bit too much romance for me. I felt like every character was in a romance predicament and there should have been a little bit more character bonding that wasn't romance, I guess. There was like one friendship that I enjoyed and the rest were just romance relationships. So I would rather have more friendship relationship and personal development rather than have just a whole bunch of romances. Besides that, I really enjoyed the book. It was a great story. The ending wasn't really an ending, which makes sense because it's a series, but it also wasn't like a cliffhanger in my opinion. Like, it didn't just leave me dying to want the next book. I was honestly kind of confused and like I don't even remember how it ended and I finished it last night. I don't know. I also read it when I was like about to fall asleep, so maybe I'll go back and read it again. Maybe that's why. Maybe I was just tired. I don't know. Thank you so much for watching this video and more book videos to come, more vlogs to come. Please subscribe and like for more content and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye guys.